Hello there and welcome to the end of November Breadvestor's meeting. I'm your host, the Bread Pirate, and you are naturally yourself. So let's get started. We're gonna be doing our classic 4 things this video. We're gonna be doing an update on the channel and how Bread Pirate is doing. We're gonna be doing analytics analysis. I'm looking at my list here. And then we're gonna be doing our Q&A, which of course comes attached with the bread question, where we ask you a question that you will have read out next video. So hopefully you enjoy. Oh, and this is the second Breadvestor's meeting this month because I missed one for the previous month. So if you're curious why we're doing one in November again, that's why. Let's begin. Shoot, so this month has been kind of crazy, if I'm gonna be honest. It's a bit of a two-faced month where on one hand I was able to express a lot of my ideas and I was able to be super creative. I think that people really enjoyed the ideas of videos that I put out, but revenue as a whole has been very low and the viewership numbers have been going down and down and down each month. And it really comes down to something that we'll get into the stats section of the video, which is that my old videos are no longer evergreen. Evergreen videos on YouTube are videos that continue getting views even after they are released, like months or years after they release. But my videos on my channel that were evergreen stopped being evergreen as soon as Tears of the Kingdom rolled out. And now they're really not evergreen now that Tears of the Kingdom is in a drought. All of Zelda is really in a drought right now. So that puts a little damper on things. But that's okay because I personally really enjoy clawing against the brutal passage of time. Some other news that you should be aware of this month, we just gained 5 members after our last video because of the little message I put at the end. Most of those people are rejoining us who had previously been members but had just kind of missed a month or something and are back. So thank you to those 5 people that just joined. I'm also going to be using all the revenue from the Breadvestor's meetings this month to purchase this thing, which will help fix my audio quality because it's been having a weird crackling issue and I really need to get that fixed. So thank you for helping keep this channel afloat. Oh, and you know, this is a big deal for you guys. This is our new emoji that we're gonna be having. So whenever you're doing a live stream or you wanna respond to a video, you can now use this emoji. I don't know what it is, but you can use it and it looks great. I love it, it's good. In fact, another thing you should be aware of is that the channel is now going to be blue for the duration of winter. Somebody on the Discord server suggested that. I don't know who it was, I'm sorry, but I really love the idea. I was tickled by it. So we are now pursuing that. Blue Bread Pirate energy is a go. In fact, I haven't told anybody this yet, but I'm thinking that after the winter is over, we could switch to a red theme because I've always wanted to since red is a very piratey color. So, shh, don't tell anybody I said that to you. Oh, and naturally, since we're going into December, which is ad revenue month, I'll talk about that more in the stats section. I'm going to be trying to make one very big video that everybody's been asking for a long time, which is a Tears of the Kingdom fact video. It's gonna be, right now the name is pending, but it's gonna be 18 suspicious facts about the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which will actually be shortened down to 18 sus facts about Tears of the Kingdom. You guys are gonna like this. This is good. I have all the facts lined up. I just have to record them and then edit the video and then make the thumbnail. So actually I've done hardly anything, but it's gonna happen. I'm gonna try and rush it out. And with that discussed and talked about, I believe that's everything that we have to go over. So we're now going to take it over to our next section of the video, which we're gonna do much quicker this month, the statistics section. Let's go. Hey there, and welcome back to the statistics moment. I really love this segment. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Now, when I say fun, but there is some bad news that's happening right now. This month and last month, in October, I am not earning very much money. I earned $1,400 from ad revenue in October, and in November, you can't see the statistic here, but it is about the exact same. It was about $1,500. To make up for that, as you know, I am trying to do substitute teaching at a local high school. I love that job because it's a bit flexible with my hours, and then I can also work on YouTube videos a little bit while I'm at school by scripting things while I have off periods. But that is not enough to quite make up for the lack of money. This is very fishy. This reeks of something suspicious, right? How is it that the channel is doing so poor right now after a new Zelda game? But anybody who's well acquainted with the Zelda community will know that this is because interest in Zelda content is at an all-time low. I mean, look how many subscribers. Look at subscriber growth. Additionally, another thing that's causing revenue to go down is that for some odd reason, all of my old videos have stopped generating views. Now, normally I call these videos evergreen videos, like a tree that's evergreen, like a pine tree that stays green in the winter, because these videos will keep generating passive viewership even if they're older videos. But recently, and by recently I mean randomly in October, they stopped generating as many views. And you can see it's a pretty dramatic jump from here to here. I don't know why October is the month that this happened. I would have thought it would be September when they announced that the DLC wouldn't happen. But whatever the reason, my channel is now not able to generate as much passive viewership, which means less passive income, and means that I am in a bit of a precarious position. However, I have a plan to try and fix this. My old evergreen videos, well, they're not doing great. They look like tipped over pine trees, but I can just try and plant some new ones. And they will start small, but eventually they will grow up to be big pine trees. So I'm gonna try and make more evergreen videos that will continue to make money into the long term, that are not just about Tears of the Kingdom, and not just about Breath of the Wild, but are about the entire Zelda series, because the Zelda series will always be relevant. So that's plan number 1. Plan number 2 is that we are entering into a wonderful time of the year called Ad Revenue Month. Ad Revenue Month is this time of the year, also known as, allow me one moment, I'm clicking the wrong thing, December. You guys love December, right? Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, like all sorts of great stuff happens. But for YouTubers, this is an important time of the year because advertisers at the beginning of the year pay somewhere around here, then they go up and they go up and they go up until they get to December, and they pay a ton of money for ads on YouTube. In the beginning of the year, you'll look at something like, let me click around here. You'll also look at something like $1 or $2 on my channel. And then once you get up to here, they're paying like $4 or even $5. It looks like it's getting close to $5 this year. I would love to show you the actual chart, but unfortunately, YouTube does not allow me to. I just learned that I'm legally required not to show it to you. I think that smells of fishy capitalism, but I can't really complain. Anyways, after this month, the revenue goes like that. As soon as the clock strikes 12, the ball is over, Cinderella runs away, her slipper falls off. This is a slipper, by the way. And then it hits down here again. And it takes a long time to try and grow back, but once it does, then we get to see the numbers go back up again for December. And then it goes back down, and we have to start over again. This is the YouTuber life cycle. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? The circle of life. So my plan is to try and make at least one giant video for December, which is why, you guys are probably aware, I am working on a fact video. One big fact video about Tears of the Kingdom that'll hopefully exploit this moment before we enter into the dark years. So that's my plan. That's what YouTube is like right now, and hopefully you enjoyed this segment. If you have any questions about statistics and YouTube ad revenue, or maybe tips for YouTube, let me know and we can do them in this segment for December. So let's move on to the next segment. We are now about to move into our questions and answers segment, but I wanted to let you know I forgot something during the beginning of the video. I want to give you an update on a small video that I was talking about that had to do with gloom rocks. I think I talked about it in our last Breadvestors meeting. That video is still in production, but it ended up being much more ambitious than I thought it would be. So I'm taking a break from it and we'll probably return to that video sometime around January. I don't want to be bogged down by a massive video project right now. So if you were curious where this video went, that's where it went. You've never seen this thumbnail before, but you probably remember the concept when I was explaining it last video. Yeah, so let's move on to the questions and answers. Hello there, and welcome to the Q&A. So, in order to do this, I'm just gonna be reading all the questions that everybody asked in the previous video, and we're gonna address them. We're gonna address them. I'm also going to be playing Tears of the Kingdom for you right now, specifically the Great Sky Island. That's not supposed to look like that, because I have a challenge run I'm gonna be doing with another YouTuber, hopefully next week. And for the challenge, I'm going to need to get myself a save file that has finished the Great Sky Island, but not done anything else. So have to just play through this again really quickly. How do I get rid of motion controls? Where is that? There it is. In fact, watch this sick move.
First question comes from a regular commenter on these videos. I love this person, Maddie8282, who says, have you ever considered making non-Zelda related content for this channel? And the answer to that is a resounding yes. In fact, I've kind of already done that within the time from the last video to this video, because I made a video on Death Road to Canada, which if you attended that live stream, you will know is a video that is, well, it's a video game that's not about Zelda, but what I did is I took a bunch of characters in the game and named them after Zelda characters so that it would be Zelda oriented. That is the strategy I think I'm gonna go with into the future. For instance, let's say I want to play a grand strategy game like Civilization. I love that game. I would, in that situation, make a world, set it in Hyrule by downloading some map that somebody made on the Steam page. And then I would also name all of the leaders after Zelda characters. So instead of having Genghis Khan, that would be Ganon. And instead of Queen Elizabeth, that would be Zelda. And then I would play in this world and just like make adventures as I go, themed after Zelda, but obviously not exactly a Zelda game. I think that is the meta, if I'd like to do Zelda games, but do them, ooh, well, I can just grab this like that and bring it down. That's good. Amber, let's go. What was I saying? Yes, that's the meta, and that's what I'd like to do into the future. A few people have already suggested that I do some other games as well related to that, and I do intend to, but I'm not really in a rush. I'm gonna take it nice and slow because we got a long way to go until the next Zelda game. So, might as well not rush things. Take it one step at a time. Next question is not even a question, but it's just something I really want to talk about. This is cool. Tetra_Zelda says, your videos inspired me to post my own Let's Plays. I haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom yet. I've been playing Yoshi's Island for the Super NES. Actually, that's an answer to the future question. Congratulations! That's awesome! Just making stuff on YouTube is one of the biggest hurdles to using the platform effectively. Too often on YouTube, people will consume content and then never actually make stuff, which is the half of it that is, I think, the most rewarding. Yeah, it's nice to be able to just kick back, relax, and watch videos. Obviously, if I didn't enjoy that, I wouldn't be a YouTuber. But if you're only ever doing that, you're crippling yourself. I mean, really, you're literally crippling yourself. Everybody should aspire to create stuff, whether it's on YouTube or maybe if you're a musician to actually just make music or play music. If you're an artist, make sure you're making art. Just find a way of producing things. Don't just be a consumer, because consuming, it makes you a slave to the economy. It's a weird concept, but it's true. Because, for instance, on YouTube, if you aren't creating things, Link, look at the camera. If you're not creating things, then you are the product. So be creating things. Don't be a slave to the system. Good on you, TetraZelda. Question number 3, I believe this is number 3, I'm already losing count, is from European Apple, who asks, for the $3 rule, wasn't it originally for people to get priority in answering their questions? Why not keep it for that? And that is true. That is true, European Apple. I didn't mention this in the last video, but unfortunately, I became very bad at keeping up with that as well. So that was another thing I was guilty about, and I didn't want to charge people if I couldn't keep track of their comments. Well. But yeah, anyways, that's one of the reasons that we don't have that anymore. I don't want to promise that I'm gonna do priority commenting if I can't actually keep up with it. So there's the answer to that. You also suggested, European Apple, that I could do editing streams where I edit parts of videos, because you like seeing the process and you think it'd be interesting, and it wouldn't require as much extra work. That is a fun idea, but I'm pretty involved with my editing. I need to be able to focus on the actual moving of clips tediously, and I'm very tedious with my editing. I take a long time to make sure that each clip is timed properly. So that would be boring, and then also I think that me trying to commentate at the same time would basically put my progress down to a freeze. But that's simply my way of editing. Not everybody is the same. Some people, they can edit and they're like, boom, I'm good. I just did it. I'm great, and I can do it while commentating. I'm like, wow, good job. But not me. No, not me. European Apple also had another question, and since we have very few questions this month, I think that this is fitting that we answer another one of yours. You said, have you ever played Hollow Knight? If so, what are your thoughts? I have not played Hollow Knight, so I don't have any thoughts, except I really like the art style. I like the, how do I say it? This is lame, but it's an indie art style, right? It's art style that deals with a lot of pale colors, which is very unique. And I really like the gritty difficulty aspect of it. Not because I enjoy doing that, but because I enjoy seeing other people play the game artfully. I have seen some friends of mine play the game, and it is like magic seeing them use the controller. So, I have never played it, but I do think there's a lot of great things to the game, just as a passive outsider. Sorry that I can't give more insight on that, though. DC Bandits also has a question. I'm gonna try and decipher this. It says, maybe you could do videos that are tangentially related to Zelda. Good word choice. Like comparing the ridiculous names from Ace Attorney to ridiculous Zelda character names, or how dungeons from other games compare to Zelda dungeons, or just how you think Link would conquer such dungeons. I don't know. And then you use the shrug emoji that we just added last month. Brilliant use of that emoji. I think that's an interesting idea. The last one specifically, how would Link complete dungeons from other games? In fact, I feel like they've done this before on YouTube. Like, there's been videos about, like, Link and Mario swapping places and being in each other's games. I'm positive this has been done before. I'm gonna write that one down right now for a future video, potentially. No promises, but that's an interesting idea. Next question comes from somebody who, is this even a YouTuber? Does this guy have a channel anymore? Yes, they do. There's a person named user SN5KZ3MV2R. Wow, that's a mouthful. They made a suggestion, this isn't a question, but we'll take it, and said, make like 3 10-minute videos per week instead of one 20-ish minute one. And I believe this is a suggestion for me making content on YouTube. They're basically saying, like, you should just make 3 10-minute videos each week. To which they're not even a member anymore. I can't respond to them, but if they were a member, I would simply say, listen, you have no clue what you're saying. You have no clue what you're asking. 3 10-minute long videos? Now listen, if I was doing just like darn it, I thought there was a smaller gap there. If I was doing tiny videos, or really easy videos, like just Let's Playing and doing commentary, that's easy, right? I mean, it'd be a little tricky to try and make it interesting to people. That'd be a challenge, but the actual editing process and the thumbnails, well, thumbnails might be tricky. Most of it would be pretty quick, though. I could do that. 3 a week, boom, done. But I don't want to just make Let's Plays. I want to make something that's a bit polished, that could actually generate interest in people, beg questions. It brings something new to the table, right? So even if I did do something like that, I would have to answer an interesting question each month. Each month? What am I saying? Each video to keep myself enthralled with it. But to the idea of just like randomly like doing 3 Let's Plays, nah, I couldn't do that. There's also a misconception here with your math. You're saying that I do 1 20-minute video a week? That's not true. I rarely make videos that are that long. Maybe I've done 2 of them like that. Yeah, I did 1 there, and yeah, I've done 2. I've done 2 since the summer that are that long. Those are the exception of the rule, though. Most videos on my channel don't get that long. Yeah, 2 this entire year that are that long. Oh, my controller, I dropped it. No, get back here. Wow, I've just totally bashed this person. They're like, hey, I have a great idea, just make more videos. And I'm like, no, you're crazy, I'm sorry. And then they just left. So, I guess I'm very good with fans, as you can tell. Let's move on to the next question. Next question comes from Joe the Crafty Shark. Welcome back to the show. Your question is, since I know you like Dungeons & Dragons, what's your favorite character or NPC you've played in a campaign or one-shot thus far? Whoa. That's hard to say. I've played some fun ones. I don't remember all of their names, but one of my first characters I ever played as, I remember this one, was Rygoth the Blackguard. And what he was a hobgoblin that wanted to be reformed and join society. He was like, I'm done being a monster warlord and killing people. I'm gonna be a good guy. And he had to convince society that he was a good guy. Unfortunately, the dungeon master for that campaign was a bit freeform, is how we put it. He wanted to have a very open world with very little direction. And he also split the campaign up into like 3 parties. It was insane. It was a very poorly implemented cool idea. So cool idea, just did not pan out. So I did not get to use Blackguard very long. One memorable encounter I had with Rygoth, the Blackguard, though, is that he once saved a small girl from a village. And my character did not know how to speak the language of the girl. I don't remember what language she spoke, but it was something very unique. So in order for me to speak to the girl, when I leveled up, I went with the, what is it called? Samurai. I went with the samurai subclass for warrior, because this is a warrior race, warrior class character. And I learned the specific language of this girl just so that I could communicate with her. And when I asked the DM, okay, so what does she say? The DM was like, yeah, not very much. And I'm like, okay, well, can I ask her like where her parents are, or like where her family would be, or who she could be like returned to so that she could like go back to her people? He's like, yeah, she's just like lost. She doesn't know what's going on. And I'm like, I just like dumped my character stats into this and there's nothing. I got nothing out of this. Aside from that though, being a samurai is cool. So it wasn't a huge loss. Just kind of funny that I was constantly trying to find out where her parents went or who her family is and had no response ever from the DM. We eventually canceled that campaign. It was too much work. But that's one. And then I'll also go into another character which I really love. This is Window the Wizard. Found a Korok. Let's go. It's a little Korok. Cute little guy. Window the Wizard was a wizard who taught at a preschool in a, I think it's a swashbuckling campaign is how I would best describe it. Oh, hello, bird. Yeah, so Window the Wizard had the aspiration of being a respected teacher. Eventually, he wanted to get to the point where he could have maybe a university status or maybe even run his own preschool because that would be prestigious enough in itself. But nobody took Window seriously. And Window has this voice that is basically like Adventures in Odyssey. He sounds like Eugene from Adventures in Odyssey. Actually, Mr. Whitaker, if we were to do this, then we would actually be able to cast the fireball spell more easily. Like he had that kind of high-pitched voice, so it was very hard for people to take him seriously. I mean, he was also a huge coward. So in one story, the campaign, it looked like he was going south and that all the characters were gonna die. And Window, I was thinking like in the character of Window, like Window's a coward, he's gonna run. So Window ran away from the rest of the group out to sea. Like he just started swimming away to try and escape from like some pirates or something because he fell into the water. And the next session when we got together, Window changed his mind and started coming back to the rest of the party because number one, I realized that like it's no fun if like the party members split up and like don't save each other. But also, Window had to go through a character arc to realize like, man, my friends are dying back there. If I want to be worthy of having my own preschool, I need to be able to do this. Oh, well, hello there, Frog. So that's the story of Window the Wizard. Another fun fact with him is that Window the Wizard had a mother and father. The father was named Syl, and no, I think that's the mother. The mother was named Syl, and the father was named Pain, which was just all one giant pun, because his name is Window, so his mother is Window Syl, and his father is Window Pain. And the whole reason for naming him after Window was just, I really like alliteration. It was one of the things I saw in the room early on, and I was like, yeah, that's good. I could use that as a character name. And I think that it's fun to have names that are pronounceable, not like, it's like, I don't know how to pronounce that. What's his name? What is it, Nordish? Right? You know, I can't pronounce it. But also grounded in something in reality. So there we go. Okay, that was a long story. I went a little bit long on that, but thank you for the question. That was a lot of fun. Next question comes from Zeldian 1986, who proposes the question, Bread, could you have a community post where we can argue over keeping the $3 roll? Zeldian, if I ever brought back the $3 roll, it would have 0 perks. But like, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that, like making a new perk, but it has no, another roll, but it has no perks to it. I feel like there needs to be a better transaction there, because I think memberships, yeah, they're there to help the channel out, but there is a bit of a transaction that needs to happen there to make it worthwhile. Also, sorry, the gameplay has evolved into me cutting grass. I like grass. Here we go. And I'm gonna now collect eggs. Speaking of eggs, every morning I have to go out to a chicken coop, regardless of how cold it is, and collect some eggs and replace their water. Because now that it's been getting cold in upstate New York, you have to replace the water very frequently, because the water keeps getting frozen. We only have 2 chickens left. We don't have any names for them. We're not getting that attached to them, but only 2 left, because unfortunately our dog broke into the chicken coop and ate the majority of the chickens. Yay. Good old Jenny, good old Jennifer, the dog. She is She is naughty. She is a naughty little puppy. But, where was I going with that? Oh, I wasn't going anywhere with that. I was just, like, commenting on eggs, because I saw some eggs in the game. Eggs are good. I like eggs. I eat eggs as often as possible, because my family has a ton of eggs from our chickens, so good stuff. Are there any other questions here? I gotta check. Oh, no, there aren't any. Oh, wow. We have gotten to the end of the question segment.
Naturally, we also have to go over what your answers were to my question to you last month. That's not confusing at all. So, let's get into Bread's question. I don't have a transition, just like...
So the question last month was, what games are you playing right now? And we had a ton of answers for this. So I'm gonna go through as many as possible. Some of you gave like giant lists, which I'm not gonna be able to read, but I'll do my best to go through as many of them as possible. Let's check them out. First one comes from Andrew Will, who says, I just started playing Spider-Man 2018. Man, I really need to start playing the Spider-Man games. I like parkour in Assassin's Creed, and the Spider-Man games are in the same alley as that. I might need to check those out someday. I'm not in a rush to do so, but hearing that you really enjoy it is definitely a point in the right direction for me eventually playing Spider-Man. So thank you for the suggestion. Can I step on this sail? Can I? Wow, I can step on the sailcloth? I better not. It's probably gonna tip over, but cool. Very cool stuff. You could step on sailcloths. We also have Swack here, welcome back, who says, oh my gosh, to answer your question, I'm going through a ton of games right now. Currently, I'm enjoying God of War 2018, Manifold Garden, which is an indie abstract geometry puzzle game, Sekiro, Shadow Die Twice, which is has my favorite combat system ever. That's a huge compliment. And Amori. Amori especially has been fun. I've never heard much about it until my girlfriend introduced it to me and brought it to me as a gift. Now we're playing through it together, and it has tons of fun. And it's tons of fun. Always fun to experience a new game with somebody else who is already familiar with it. It's super artistic too. Dude, yes! I've been loving these indie games recently. I used to play only big AAA games, but I'm trying to get more into indie games, and I'm finding myself loving them more than the major games. Because the major games, I mean, they're pretty good. Like, Nintendo is always a classic, but I'm just liking the indie games because they're usually shorter, so I can eat them in a single setting, or maybe in a a few settings. And they usually present wild ideas. I find that enthralling. I like it. They're good. Yeah, good games to be playing. I haven't heard about most of them, but that means that you're playing the right games. Next up is Maddie8282, who says that they have been playing Mario Wonder and Amori. For Mario Wonder, actually, I just finished it this morning. It's a really fun and creative game and a breath of fresh air for 2D Mario. You should definitely play it when you have a chance. Yes, I should play it. Unfortunately, I'm trying to not get myself distracted with any new games right now because I want to focus on making Zelda content during the month that it really matters, aka ad revenue month, as we said during the stats moment. Ooh, let's just grab you. Yeah, this is cool. I will grab that. This will be the front of the ship. Sayonara, I'm going on adventure. Applesauce Zelda says, here's a list for you. FNAF and FNAF fan games. No, I'm not addicted. There are some great ones anyways. Gmod, Mario Wonder, Fortnite, Beam NG Drive, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. I love that game. I've never played it, but I love the cutscenes from that game. And Undertale, which you say is a masterpiece that everybody should play before they die. And I agree with that sentiment as well. I agree. Yeah, man. Stuart, the Zeldaholic, says, I played Baldur's Gate 3. I liked 2 better, though. I'm old school, for the record. For one, you could go into the wilderness and then back to the city, and then back to the wilderness, and then back to the city, and then back to the and then to the Underdark, and then to the wilderness, and then to the city, and then to the wilderness. I'm sure it has some replay value, but not anytime soon. Mario Wonder, on the other hand, is awesome. I'm old, side-scrolling Mario. See ya, Bread Pirate. Thank you for the comment. And it's interesting, I've never heard anybody say something negative about Baldur's Gate until this point. You probably are onto something. Maybe it's an artificial addiction that's being created in this game by the breadth of it, but people aren't realizing that it's very repetitive until they, well, go through a significant portion of it. But just kind of an interesting thing to think about. Yeah. Next one comes from Nathaniel Smith, who says, I have a full-time job and I'm unable to complete games as quickly as I used to, so I'm actually still in the midst of my Tears of the Kingdom playthrough. The way I'm playing the game is by meticulously combing the map, sky, surface, and depths in an effort to not miss anything. The only areas I have left to go is the Gerudo Highlands and Desert. I'm super excited to explore those areas because deserts are almost always my favorite biome to explore in games. The other game I'm currently playing is Splatoon 3. I've played that game on a near daily basis, even if it's just for 2 minutes, ever since it came back out in September 2022. I first got into the Splatoon series with the original game on the Wii U, but I haven't put as much effort into doing well in Splatoon gaming until now. It's quite fun. That's cool. Dang. Way to go. Keeping up with Splatoon. You are probably a professional. I'm gonna title you right now. I'm dubbing you professional Splatoon player. There you go. There you go. That's the Bread Pirate seal of approval. I've never played Splatoon, but I think that warrants it. I'm being a little bit silly, of course, but no, that's really cool. I love that. And the fact that you're going so thoroughly through Tears of the Kingdom. Take it at your own pace. Good job. Good on you for just enjoying it and not feeling rushed to complete it at the same time as everybody else. European Apple also answered this question, saying, Breath of the Wild is far more replayable than Tears of the Kingdom in my opinion, and I've had some fun doing some challenge runs in there recently. But you also started a 100% run for Tears of the Kingdom minus the Koroks. Good on you, don't do the Koroks. You also started Hollow Knight recently, but are more focused on Zelda as you're still into my channel. Thank you. And don't be afraid to go back to Hollow Knight if you feel like you're interested in that. Never pinhole yourself into one game forever. Feel free to experiment and try other things. And then we have a second to last answer from Joe the Crafty Shark, saying, I've played a lot of games, lol. Sea of Stars, lovely game, would recommend. Rhythm Doctor, Baldur's Gate 3. You're still on the tutorial. Okay, keep it up. Oxenfree, as well as another playthrough of Skyward Sword. I'm amazed. Everybody's playing so many games right now. I feel like I've done a good job at managing my bucket list, so I'm not playing too many games at one time, but everybody else is like way ahead of me on this. Everybody's multitasking. You know, I don't actually think I need to defeat this guy, do I? Oh, no, I don't. I can just totally skip out on that. Yeah, there's no reason to fight this. There's no reason to fight this guy. I could be pacifist. That's crazy. Didn't even know that was possible. Okay, and our last one comes from just a Yoshi0281 who says, oh wow, you're playing a few games right now. Forza Motorsports. I'm a longtime racing game fan, and the driving in the game especially really clicked with me. So I've been doing a ton of online racing, and it's been a blast thus far. You also are playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Professor Layton and the Curious Village, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's a game I really wish I could play. Just the Xenoblade series as a whole. I really want to do that. Man. Oh, wait. You have a last comment here. It says, I know it's a lot to get through, and that's just what I'm actively playing. You don't want to see my backlog spreadsheet. Oh, you have a spreadsheet? Yoshi! That's insane! I'm glad to not have a spreadsheet right now. That would be absurd. If anybody's curious about my games that I'm playing right now at the moment, I've been playing a lot of Civilization 6 recently because my cousins bought it for me years ago, but I never played it. And now they want to start playing it with me, and I've actually started having a blast with it. I used to prefer 5, but Civ 6 ain't bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good once you get used to the mechanics. Oh, hello there, mister. I've also tried Lethal Company out. I've only played that for a short minute because my cousins wanted me to play it with them. A lot of this has to do with my cousins. And Death Road to Canada. I've been enjoying that game. Those are the 3 games I'm really playing at the moment. I'm not playing a huge swath of games, and when I do play them, it's mostly just because family got me into it, and I want to be able to have a game to play with them. And that's been what I'm trying to do recently. Make sure that when I play games, I'm playing them with people. Or for the Zelda series, right? There's an exception. It's like it's a Zelda series. Okay, I love that series. I don't need an excuse to play Zelda. I could just do that. Okay, and now let's go back to live action Bread.
And so we come to one of my favorite segments of the video. Me asking you a question that you can answer in the comments section below for next month. Here it is. If you could have any job you wanted, what job would you like to pursue? That's it. Or if you're already in your dream job, then maybe you can give us some insight into what that job is and why you love it so much. Right now, I'm doing YouTubing. That's kind of the dream job, but I don't know if I would like to do it forever. I would just like to do it for maybe the next year or two, right? But give me some insight into what your dream job would be and what you plan on doing. So that's all I have for today's video. Thank you for watching, and until I see you next time, have fun storming the castle.